Hey there guys, so today is going to be one of the first videos in the series. So it is May and it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm going to be starting a series this month, but it will prolong past that as well, about my PTSD. There's going to be a ton of topics, but today's video is my husband and I. So this is my husband Ryan.
Hello! Nice to see you. Nice to meet you virtually.
So I asked you guys for questions on Instagram revolving around having a significant other with PTSD, anxiety, depression, anything in that kind of realm of mental health. And so he's going to answer questions that were just asked to him. There's a few questions like relationally for both of us. So that's what we're going to answer today. So we're just going to hop right into it. My husband does also have his own YouTube channel, and we have a daily vlog channel. So if you want to see more of him, then you can check out those channels below and in the cards above. So the first question comes from Lindsay Price, and she wants to know what...
Yeah, I know Lindsay.
Yes. What do you do when Arianna has an anxiety attack? Do you comfort her, let her have space, etc.?
Well, it used to be. She would not want me to touch her. She would get very angry.
And someone else asked that. Caged in the Songbird actually said, do you get frustrated when you're anxious and don't want to be hugged or comforted? How do you explain it to Ryan? My husband always thinks I'm mad at him.
That's exactly how it used to be. She
Yes.
used to get very frustrated, exactly
I like tense up, and
Yeah,
I just like,
exactly
and even
like you
now,
said.
like sometimes he'll try to give me a hug and I'll like push him away. But he doesn't take it
Right.
the wrong way anymore, hopefully.
No, I don't. But then, like, a lot of times, it seems you've been getting a lot more anxiety at night, when, like, before bed or something.
Yes.
And so I'll just squeeze her real tight.
Yes, we do deep pressure therapy. Spoon inversion.
Ooh.
So if you guys have not heard of deep pressure therapy, it's basically where, well, for your chest, like something you can do it on your legs, like service dogs a lot of times will lay across your legs or your chest, and that sort of deep pressure, like constant pressure, will help relieve your anxiety. So there are something called deep pressure therapy hugs, where the person stands behind you or spooning behind you, holds you like right here and just pushes into your chest, and so he does that a lot. And so those are the type of hugs that, like, as long as, for when I'm anxious, as long as like I know it's coming, I'm good. But like a random like gonna grab you and hug you.
I used to do that, and she hated it. And then I'd get angry too.
So how did you get over that?
Just realizing that when you were anxious, you didn't want to be touched.
Yeah.
Even as much as I wanted to comfort her during that time, it was like, okay, she just needs her space so she can calm down a little bit, and then we'll come back together, and then I'll give her a big hug.
So several people asked Ryan what it was like to be in a relationship with someone that has PTSD, whether it took a toll on him, if he ever got frustrated sometimes, how he handled that frustration, all of those type of things. So what kind of effect has it had on you, and how do you cope with the effect that it has had?
Frustration is something that I think is always going to be there. And it's not due to being angry with her. It's out of lack of understanding. I personally have never dealt with anxiety. I can't even begin to comprehend what it's like to have anxiety. So for me, it's like, I don't know what to do. And so it's more so, the frustration more so comes from that aspect, because I don't know what to do, or the fact that I can't do anything. I instinctively want to do something to help. When my wife is going through something, I want to help her. And so it's difficult, and I think that's where the frustration comes in. But then once that frustration comes in, it's a matter of, and it wasn't necessarily so much like this at the beginning of our relationship, but over the 7 years we've been together now, it's gotten easier in the fact that when I become frustrated, I can take a step back, I can just relax for a second and remind myself, she's not choosing to be like this. And it's not like something that she's purposely doing to frustrate me. It's something that it's just there. It comes about here and there, and there's not really anything that can be done about it.
So this one's interesting. There's two people that asked similar questions. So Jen and Chantel asked something along the lines of, did you know before you dated her that she suffered from anxiety and panic attacks? If you didn't know, once you found out, What was the reaction, and has it ever been an issue for you two? And Chantel wanted to know, did you care that she suffered from panic attacks and anxiety?
I guess this is kind of like twofold. If you know anything about our story, is we met in high school in chemistry class, where our chemistry began, as she likes to say. Nice and punny. But so we became friends that was first semester of...
Junior year?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was first semester of junior year. And then she didn't really, as far as I knew, I didn't know anything about her PTSD, anxiety, anything, until it was beginning of second semester junior year when she got Levi. And so then when we were talking throughout that second semester, that's when I started to learn a little bit more about that. But I really didn't even know that much until we started dating that summer.
Boy, were you in for a surprise. But I will say it's kind of hard to hide that there was some kind of issue in my brain, because I walked around with a service dog, so kind of a giveaway.
Yeah.
So I did have Levi before we started dating.
And some may say that's why we started dating.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He did say he only ever saw Levi as a perk because he got to bring a cute dog with him everywhere.
Levi is an awesome dog. So I mean, like, once I actually found out more about her PTSD anxiety, it really didn't affect me. Like, I didn't look at her differently. I didn't have a different opinion of her. It wasn't something that I like tried to shy away from. It was just...
He definitely didn't try to shy away.
That's who you are. Great. You're a great person as you are, and hey, everybody's got their own issues one way or another, so hers just happened to be a bit more visible. Even not so much visible, but
visible within our relationship.
Yeah.
Ryan was the very not normal 17-year-old boy that was just all, you know what, I'm going to take this on head first.
Well, the way I always looked at dating relationships was, do I see the possibility of marrying this woman? I dated one girl, and before Arianna, and it very quickly was apparent that was not going to be in the cards. And so, obviously, I don't want to go through my whole story, but going into it, when we first started dating, that was in the back of my mind. Can I see myself marrying her? Yes, I could. Here we are, 7 years later.
Married.
With 2 kids.
So Tori wants to know, do you have any advice for family members of someone with a mental health issue? What's like your one piece of advice to someone that has a significant other going through similar things to me?
The biggest things are patience and empathy. Like being able to put yourself mentally in the shoes of the other person and try and understand what they're going through, even though you may not have ever been through it. I think those are like the 2 biggest factors.
And that whole, when you put yourself in their shoes, is understanding they're not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
So for our last question, a few of you asked about PTSD regarding kids. Someone wanted to know how we're going to handle telling the girls about like my PTSD, things like that. We haven't really put much thought into like when we would tell them. I mean, I'm sure I would sit down with them and talk with them like through my story at some point, but I'd probably wait till they were like middle school. It's not like I don't feel comfortable like I should hide it from them at any point either. Obviously, like someone asked what I do if I have like a panic attack or anxiety attack with the girls at home, and I'll just lock myself in a room. Like everything's child-proofed. They're fine. And if it's like just really heightened anxiety, and not like something like right this minute I need to leave the room, then I'll put them in their rooms for quiet time. There is another reason that I was very adamant to teach our kids independent play, and that was for my anxiety. Because I knew in order for me to be a good mom, I needed to teach them that, so that if I needed time alone at any point in the day, even if they had just had alone time an hour earlier, I would know that they could go in their room and at least give me a half hour of peace. I know someone had said that they are thinking about kids, but they don't know when to have them because they're worried about how they'll handle their PTSD. I definitely think that your mental health state is a very important decision is a very important factor to keep in mind when you decide to have kids. So like the beginning of my PTSD, I wouldn't have obviously said, hey, that's a genius time to have kids right now when I'm bulimic and having self-injury issues. Like, no, probably not a good idea. Like if you're constantly having flashbacks that maybe make you violent, things like that, not a good time to have kids. But PTSD is definitely a journey. So I have PTSD still, and I still have flashbacks to certain things, and I still get panic attacks. And well, not panic. Haven't really actually had a panic attack in a while, but anxiety attacks definitely still have those sometimes. But I'm way farther ahead in my journey than I was back then. And so now it's handled to a point, and I've learned healthy enough coping mechanisms to a point that I can still be a good mom and have it. Sure, do I have to have my kids have more independent playtime than a typical mom? Yes, but that doesn't make me a bad mom, and it doesn't mean that because I have PTSD or anxiety that I shouldn't be a mom just because my kids have to have a little bit more alone time during the day. You guys watch our vlogs, they're plenty loved, they get plenty of time with us. It doesn't affect, in my opinion, it doesn't affect my relationship with my kids. If you have PTSD, anxiety, then you know, especially because like loud noises are very hard for me to handle. It just really heightens my anxiety, and if I don't get out of that sort of situation, then I will probably have an anxiety attack. And so if like kids are screaming constantly, even as a mom that doesn't have PTSD and anxiety, every mom gets to a point where they're like, I cannot handle all of the yelling and the screaming right now. Every mom. I don't know a mom.
I do.
Yeah, I don't know a parent anywhere that hasn't had that moment where they're like, I just need quiet. And so it's okay to put your child in their room or put your child in the crib where they're safe and away from you so you can take time to collect yourself. That's literally every parent has had that moment. And so for someone with PTSD, you might just have that moment a little more often. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed having Ryan on my channel. So if you guys do have any other suggestions for videos for this series, go ahead and leave those down in the comments below.
See you later.
Bye.